Hey everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Buckaroo Designs. I'm going to show you how to make this lovely little card that features my favorite product in the new 2021 January to June spring mini catalog from Stampin' Up. It is the Flowering Cactus Product Medley, and I want to show you what comes in this. First, let me show you what page you can find this on your catalog. It's right at the beginning. You might flip past it, but it's right here on page 9. I am from South Texas, where we have lots of cactus. So this immediately jumped out at me. I absolutely love every single thing that comes in this product medley. Now, product medley means that you're gonna get the stamps, the die, the embellishments, and the paper. Everything you need to make your projects. So that is what I was playing with. You can see that the little embellishments are felt flowers that go on the cactus. Right here. The designer series paper has, well, first of all, it has regular patterns like you would expect. Really, really pretty color palette. And then it has these sheets here that have the cactus that you can actually cut out with the coordinating dies. Not only do the dies cut out the stamps, but they cut out the cactus and the flowers on here as well. So if you're in a hurry and you didn't want to stamp, you could easily just do that. Now this card is based on, oh, it also comes with twine. I didn't even pull that out. It comes with Calypso coral and linen thread, which are really, really good. They coordinate well. Now this card originally was when I was just playing around, but then I decided to make calendars out of them because I loved it so much. The paper that you see here is not actually from the product medley. It's actually a free product that is available in January and February from the Celebration catalog. You get it free with a $50 purchase. So if you buy the product medley, then you can choose this pack of paper for free as well. And I use two different patterns. They both go well. The pinker color, which is actually Rococo Rose, and then the purple color, which is Blackberry Bliss. So either one of them work really well. So what I was going to tell you is that when I made these, I made a bunch of them, and I didn't have enough cactus in the pattern paper to cut out. So I wanted to recreate, I wanted to stamp them so that I could have enough for all the calendars that I was making. So I'm going to show you how to make this really cool cactus. It looks very similar to the one that's in the designer series paper pack, and it's kind of a fun little technique. Now, I also want to point out two differences. This was the original card that I made, and then I made this one. The frame is a little bit thicker, and I added some of the stamps on it from the product medley. This is actually the stamp designed to go below the cactus as a shadow, but I used it to make this frame. But what I realized is that the frame die that I used here is retired. So I'm going to hop back over and I'm going to show you how to make this frame with your stitched rectangle dies. Now you could also make this size frame with your stitched rectangle dies, but I thought for this video, we'll do the skinnier one. Now, I want to tell you before we get started too, to get the information on this project, hop over to my blog. The link is here on YouTube, and it'll take you to my original Facebook Friday post, which has a PDF of this project. It has the products as well as the measurements. Don't worry, I typed the measurements after I made the video or after I put it up on my blog. So it'll be there if you need it, as well as two other projects if you're interested. Okay, enough chit chat. Let's get started. Let's stamp our cactus first. All right, I'm going to get a piece of our new basic white cardstock, and I've got the big cactus and the smaller cactus, and I'm going to stamp them in Pear Pizzazz, and then I'm going to take Mossy Meadow and I'm going to dab it all over. That's kind of called rock and roll. If you have the bigger ink pad, rock and roll is when you do this and you rock it around the edges. But I found it was a little too harsh. Like it wasn't giving me a smooth fill. So what I decided to do is to get one of our uninked spots. And I took my Mossy Meadow ink refill, filled it with Mossy Meadow. So it's a little bit easier to use that way for this technique. So I'm going to ink them up in Pear Pizzazz, and I'm going to take that Mossy Meadow, and I'm just going to kind of go around the edges and stamp. Now, before I do that, I'm going to grab my foam mat. My table here doesn't have a lot of give, so I have a hard time getting it to stamp clean. Oh, beautiful. All right, well, we're going to do the same thing here with this one. All right. And we'll stamp that one. We'll just do it right here like that. Now that gives your cactus a little bit more dimension, and it'll look even better because it has more color. Now I'm going to stamp the flowers twice, or 2 flowers in Calypso Coral, the larger and the smaller. Again, because I was making a ton of these, I didn't have enough flowers in my kit, so that's why you have the stamps, so that you can stamp them and have as many as you would like. All right, so now let's grab those coordinating dies and we'll put them on here. This is the cut and emboss machine that I'm using. The new mini cut and emboss machine will also work with these dies. If you haven't seen our new little baby, it looks just like this one, except it's little and it's so cute. It's great for on the go, and it's great if you have a small space. But these dies will fit in the new mini cut and emboss machine. I have the big one out today because we're also going to emboss. All right, I'm going to get all my dies set up here. Get them there, and we're going to put that plate on carefully and run it through. All right, let's see what we've got. Perfect. All right, now I'm going to save that scrap because we're going to need it in just a second. Move all of this over here. Now, while we have the machine, let's do the embossing. We're going to use a piece of that Oso Ombre Designer Series paper, and we're going to use the Tasteful Textiles embossing folder, which is buried over here. And I am going to put it in so that the top of the paper is facing the side that has the Stampin' Up! Logo, okay? And you can take it and line it up with that line right there at the bottom to make sure it's nice and straight. And you put it down on plate number 1. This is one of our thicker embossing folders, so then you're going to need plate 4 on top. All right, so we'll run that through. And let's see how it looks. Very good. I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. Now I forgot, let me bring back my other plates. We have to cut that frame as well. All right, so I'm going to get my 2 stitched rectangles and a, whoops, we got to put down that clear plate first. Clear crumb cake and 2 stitched rectangles. And we're just going to put them like that to make a frame. Okay. The good thing about these dies is that they leave the stitching on the inside and the outside of the line that cuts. So you will have, sorry, you will have stitching. See how it leaves it on the outside? So that when we cut this little frame here, or the inside window part of our frame, it leaves the stitching there on that line as well. And then you could save that one for something else. Okay, now let's move that out of the way. Boy, I've been on vacation and it seems like I'm a little out of practice. Had to really put some muscle into that. Okay, now I didn't do this on the original design, but I did do it on that second card, and I really liked how that created kind of a desert look. So I'm going to do that again with a skinnier frame. I've got crumb cake ink, and I've got those two images that really are, I think, to create a shadow below your cactus. And I'm just going to kind of go down, offsetting each one a little bit. We don't want them perfect. Cactus around here in San Antonio, where I live, are very common. Very, very common. And in my neighborhood, we actually have some giant, gorgeous, beautiful prickly pear cactus. So I see them every day when I go walking. So I just have a special place in my heart. They're just beautiful. I know maybe if you're not used to them, they seem a little weird, but they just really are gorgeous. And they can get huge and bloom these gorgeous flowers. Okay, so now what am I doing? These are our new blending brushes, and they come in a 3-pack. So I am building up my supply of them so that I have one for each color, not each Stampin' Up! Color. I think it'll be fine to have one for reds, one for blues, one for yellows, that kind of thing. So then I can use them interchangeably. So this one I could use for crumb cake. I could use it for soft suede. And I'm just kind of giving this a little more of a grungy look. And these are little bristles. I don't know if you guys can see, they're bristles. When you look at it in a video or in the catalog, it looks like a sponge, but it's actually little tiny bristles. Okay, there we go. We've got that. The last thing that we're going to stamp is our sentiment. This stamp set has some great sentiments. Life can get kind of prickly. I love that. Happy looks good on you. I think that's the one we're using today. No, we're going to use life can get kind of prickly. These three and this one as well work well. I believe this is the one I used on the calendar. You are a rare find. And I just took that part off. Okay. Oh, and I did forget one more thing that we need to cut. So I'll have to bring that machine back over. I forgot the tall cactus. All right. So life can get kind of prickly in Calypso Coral. I'm going to bring over my mini paper trimmer, and I'm just going to cut that. This is kind of my favorite thing to do with sentiments, just to cut them down. I always say cut them down to the height and the width of the word. So basically a rectangle that fits your sentence or your sentiment. And I'm going to take my scissors because I forgot my punch, and I'm just going to cut in. And then from each corner up. Well, I didn't connect the lines. There we go. All right, so we've got a little flag there. Now we need to cut that larger cactus, which I forgot. So let's bring this back over real quickly. Let me grab my Mossy Meadow cardstock, and let's do that last cactus. This cactus is tall, and it doesn't need a stamped image. It's going to also give the cactus texture while you cut it. It embosses and cuts. All right, let's see if it'll pop out. Sometimes if you drop it, it'll pop out. Or you can take the tool, the die brush, and kind of brush that out of there. And oh, well, it's going to give me a hard time today. There we go. There we go. Okay, now I think we're finally ready to put our card together. I've got a Mossy Meadow card base, and I'm going to take that beautiful embossed piece that we embossed, the ombre paper, and I'm going to put the dark at the top. Kind of like a sunset is what I was thinking. Okay, so now I'm going to take my adhesive foam sheet, and I'm going to cut some skinny strips for this frame. These are our foam adhesive strips, and I love them. I love dimensionals, and that's essentially what these are. You can make them big, small, skinny, long, whatever your need is. You can cut them into that shape. You can even cut them with the dies, which I haven't done yet. Okay. There we go. Now, I'm going to set this on here very carefully. Let's see, how do I want it? I think I want it that way. All right. Okay, now let's adhere our cactus. Now, this guy, I needed him to be a little bit taller because I wanted, if I had him down low, he didn't poke out enough. See how he's kind of covered. So I'm going to take him, I'm going to put some adhesive on him. Whoops. And I'm going to put him up just a little bit off the ground. All right, now I'm going to take my regular dimensionals, And I'm going to put this one back here like that in the back. And then this cutie goes in the front. All right. And that will cover up that space so it doesn't look like it's floating. Okay, now for these, I think we'll just use glue dots on these. You could also use dimensionals. You can also use the felt flowers in the kit. My family is going to Utah again for spring break. We are a little bit addicted to the national parks. Whoops. And so we have another national parks trip planned for spring break. And I know that we will see some cactus. We're not going to Arizona this time, which they have a lot of cactus. It's also equally as beautiful. Okay, there. Now let's do this one. And I will cut another little strip here with my foam adhesive. And slide that just behind like that. All right, now one last thing, actually two last things. Let's add a little bow. This is the Calypso Coral linen thread that comes in the kit. And I know that you wouldn't normally see a bow on a cactus out in the wild, but that's okay. It's paper crafts and it's cute. When I was deciding where to put the bow, I really liked it on the cactus. So that's where I put it, right there. And last but not least, I felt like we needed a few little stars. So the champagne rhinestones really are beautiful here. Okay, just a few in and out. Let's put one up here like that. Oh, now I'm going to need more. We'll do another one right there. All right, nope, one more. Do you guys do that? I never know when to stop. All right, there we go, you guys. Oh, wait, let's do the inside. We've got to do the inside. I forgot. The inside, I have a piece of Whisper White. And this paper right here, when I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4, I had this strip left over. So I'm going to put this on this little piece right here, like that. And then we will put this on the inside of our card. Right there. Now the card is finished. All right, you guys, make sure you hop over to my blog, get the information on that amazing product medley. One of my, probably my very favorite thing in the new spring catalog. And I hope that you will check it out. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.